All right, thanks for your guys' patience. We'll go ahead and get started here. Again, my name is Brandon Bassett. I'm with Pine Cove Consulting. I'm based out of our Bozeman office here. Thank you guys for spending some time with us this afternoon as we get really excited about our new partnership with Verkada. We're going to have Lauren Spears on from Verkada to introduce herself and her business. And we met Lauren a few months ago at the Meta conference here in Montana, and we were really excited at the opportunity to take a look at security cameras. Over the past 26 years, Pine Cove has been focused on IT networks and support and cybersecurity. And so the opportunity to be able to provide our customers who always look to us to provide the best services and products available, being able to add security cameras to our portfolio is really exciting. And so we're looking forward to hearing more from Lauren. She's going to be jumping on here in a second. So in the meantime, just one of the cool things about Verkada is it's been really easy for us to start working with them. Lauren and her team have been wonderful to work with, very easy to communicate with. And we've already deployed Verkada security camera systems to a number of customers across Montana and Wyoming. One of them, the most recent being Havre Public Schools, who deployed over 120 cameras district-wide. So a really exciting project for them, and we were happy to be a part of that. And that being said, I'll pass it over to Lauren. I'll let you introduce yourself, Lauren, and also if there are any questions, feel free to use the chat function there, and we'll get any questions you have answered along the way. Thanks so much, guys.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Brandon, for the great introduction. Can you guys all hear me all right?
Yep, we can hear you good.
Okay, perfect. So yes, thank you, Brandon, again for the introduction. It is a pleasure to be featured as part of your webinar for your customers. My name is Lauren Spears. I am the Verkada rep here who is responsible and directly oversees Montana and Wyoming, as well as Idaho. So I'll be your go-to resource on all things Verkada. And as Brandon had mentioned, we have done some great work with many of the schools, higher education, and other businesses across the state. Havre being the most recent, but other examples would be Sydney Public Schools, Browning Public Schools, Lolo School District, Conrad Public Schools, and Huntley Project School District, just to name a few examples. So excited to get introduced to many people across the state. Now for today, I will begin by walking through a brief slideshow presentation on Verkada, just to give a little bit of history and background on our company. And then we'll jump into a live product demonstration just to show you all the features and whatnot. But to start out, Verkada, we are the leading security provider for hybrid cloud surveillance. And just to give an introduction to our team here, we're the fastest growing video security company in the world. We are based out of San Mateo, California. That is where I live here in Silicon Valley. We're about 20 miles south of San Francisco. But Verkada cameras are deployed worldwide, all over the United States, up in Canada, South America, and this month we are actually opening a new office in London. So we've got quite a few members of our team moving out to the UK, which is exciting. And then a few of our investors, Meritech, Sequoia Capital, and Siemens, just to kind of give our tried and true leadership and just the backing of our company. Now, to give an introduction of the team, we are founded by a group of computer scientists rooted from Stanford and MIT, as well as one of the former founders of Meraki, Hans Robertson. And if you're unfamiliar with Meraki, it's an IT networking company. They do switches, firewalls, and essentially back in 2012, after they sold Meraki to Cisco, Hans Robertson, our founder, decided that his new goal was to create a modern enterprise video security system. So that's all that we focus on here, is making great security cameras. That's 100% of what we do. And what it means to have a hybrid cloud surveillance system is that there's no more NVR, no DVR, no servers or stick clients that you have to worry about. We want our customers to have a lot more flexibility and visibility with a system like Verkada. That's never really been quite possible before. And then our vision, on top of being the most secure solution, is also being highly scalable. So whether you're looking to start out with 1 camera, 10 cameras, hundreds or thousands of cameras, we have customers who have done this before on a massive scale, no longer limited by the number of ports available on an NVR or a DVR or getting a server out to a specific location. And then because Verkada is both a hardware and a software, it's always ready for new artificial intelligence applications, meaning it's not a stagnant system. It's constantly improving. So I'll show you guys this in the demonstration when we get to it in a second, but some recent releases by our product and engineering team, and these are pushed out automatically and it's included in the service. It's not an additional upcharge or anything like that. Our people counting, vehicle counting, heat zone mapping, and then what was just released earlier this week is people analytics. So I'll show you all that in the demo when we get to it here in a second as well. But this is the old system architecture that Verkada is looking to update. So most of the customers that I speak with on a day-to-day basis, here on the right side of the screen is typically what they have, where it's cameras wired into a switch and then into an NVR or a DVR. If you want to view your cameras when you are on site with them, you can through a monitor or a local PC. But it's 2019. People want to have access to their video footage, to data from anywhere in the world, anytime, any device. And in that case, with this type of system, you'd have to create some sort of virtual private network. In some cases, open up firewalls or forward ports. It's not a very user-friendly experience. It's a pretty difficult IT endeavor, and it honestly doesn't always work out the way that you want it to. And then the NVR here in the middle, that is a single point of failure. If that goes down, there goes all of your cameras. So it's something you constantly have to reboot or maintain or update so that it's up to date, on all security measures and things of that nature. So for Verkada, what we've done here is we've eliminated everything on this side of the screen. All you need is a camera wired into the switch, and it's Cat5 or Cat6 cabling and power over Ethernet. So this is what our cloud architecture looks like. I'd argue it's a bit more simple. So all of the storage and retention takes place on board the device through a solid state drive. Out of the box, you get 30 days of retention. That's the minimum that we guarantee to our customers. We also have 60, 90, all the way up to 120-day video retention options, which take place on board the device as well. And how it works is the camera sending encrypted thumbnails and metadata to the cloud every 20 seconds. And so when you want to view that feed, either live or through the local option, the camera fills in those 20-second gaps, and that's what enables the camera to consume such a slim amount of bandwidth. So Verkada is by and large the most bandwidth-friendly IP camera available on the market today. The steady state operates at just 20 kilobits per second per camera. And just to put that into perspective, when you're sending an email through your Gmail or Outlook account, that consumes about 25 kilobits per second. And there's 2 ways to view for Verkada cameras. So of course, through the web, you can view from any platform, whether that be your phone, tablet, laptop, anywhere in the world. I was actually on a flight recently and I was way up in the air and I decided to get the airplane Wi-Fi and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go check and see if I can see my Verkada cameras. And I could, in fact, and I was just like, wow, this is incredible. 30,000 feet in the air and I can see what's going on in my office, which is pretty neat. And then the other option for viewing Verkada is when you're on site with your cameras, the camera will recognize that the device you're viewing it from is on the same LAN connection, and it will skip the web entirely and you will view directly from the camera. This consumes about 2 kilobits per second per camera, which is next to nothing. Now, just to illustrate some of the organizations that trust Verkada with any of their physical security, safety, loss prevention, and asset protection needs, higher education institutions, school districts, technology companies, nonprofits, malls, financial institutions, oil and gas, you name it, everyone's making physical security and safety a huge priority in this day and age. Now, I'm going to jump into the product demonstration. If you can see my screen here, this is my default landing page when I log into Verkada. It's a Google integrated map view. So this is just one way that I can view all of my cameras, all of my sites from a single user interface. So you'll see that we have 3 sites here, one over here at our headquarters in Silicon Valley, one over in Chicago, and also one over in London, over in the UK. For today, I will focus in on these 26 cameras here. We are in Silicon Valley, again, about 20 miles south of San Francisco. I'm going to hone in on our office location. You can see a map view or a satellite view. So this right here is our building, the Verkada headquarters, and where these cameras are on this building is where they're physically located on the building as well. So 22 cameras, they are green, that means they're healthy, they're rolling. If they were another color like a yellow or a red, that would mean that the camera's offline or being tampered with. So many of the customers that I speak with, the reason they're even looking into Verkada in the first place is because maybe some sort of security incident occurred recently, and they went to go look back on an incident with their current system, only to realize that the camera that would have caught that incident had been down for days or even weeks, and they had no idea. With Verkada, that's not possible. You would receive an alert in real time through SMS, text message, or email, or both, depending on your preference, letting you know that your camera's gone down. You might want to take a look at it. So every single camera model has a built-in accelerometer, just a fancy word for saying if anyone comes at one of your cameras with a baseball bat or a rock tries to hit it off the pole or wall that it's mounted on, the camera will send you an alert in real time, again, letting you know that you might want to take a look at it. There are also machine learning cameras. So let's say maybe someone came at one of these cameras with a slower motion. Maybe they put a baseball hat over the camera or spray painted the lens. The cameras recognize what they're looking at on a day-to-day basis, and they intelligently notice when there's some sort of occlusion event that's blocking their view, and they will, again, send you an alert in real time through SMS, text message, or email, or both, depending on your preference, which is pretty neat. And then again, you'd get a second notification to see that the camera is yellow or red here on this map view. Now, before I kind of click in and show you, let's see, the different views of what's going on in and around Verkada headquarters, I wanted to jump into this recent release. It's the integrated floor plan. So this here is the Verkada floor plan. So if you send us your floor plans of your school or of your business, we will put that into your Verkada organization. It's included in the service, and we can help you map out your cameras. So where these cameras are facing is physically where they're facing on our building as well. So a few ways that I see a lot of my customers using this feature is to understand where there might be blind spots, where they could need additional coverage. And then also, let's say that there was maybe some sort of fight that broke out or some sort of security incident that occurred in the middle of the sales floor. We can pretend it's the cafeteria. It's very easy for me to pinpoint exactly which cameras would have caught that incident, which is cool. Now, I'm going to jump into this exterior camera. It is the backdoor entrance coming in from our parking lot. Now, up here on the top, that is the live view. We're in Pacific time, so it's 12:15 p.m. Down here, this is where you can see thumbnails. So you can search by specific day and time. This is a 30-day retention camera, so I can go as far back as 30 days. Look at the specific time if I know what time an incident may have occurred. And they can also get more or less granular with these thumbnails, depending on what you're looking for. Now, to search through an hour-long clip, it's just a matter of moving my mouse from left to right. So these blue lines that pop up, that's the people counting feature. It puts a green bounding box around where the person is within the frame, and also numbers, how many people are within the frame as well. So it's very easy for me to skip through this idle time and find when people are coming and going out of our building. I'll go to one where it's a little bit more busy. Here we go. We're on 10:06. 10:13, all the way over to 10:41. So very easy for me to search back for information. A lot of the times the customers I speak with, when they see this, they're like, oh my gosh, like I've spent hours or even days manually fast forwarding and rewinding through footage that I got from my NVR or DVR. This would cut down, my search time by hours when you can do something like this with Verkada in just a matter of a few minutes. So that's one way to search for information. Another is to enable heat maps. I recommend this use case for my customers in low light situations. So it's very easy to see between the hours of, looks like 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. There are no people, no movement detected in the frame of this camera, but it looks right around like 6 a.m. The first person to get into the office was right around 6:28 a.m., which is pretty neat. Now, let's say that there was some sort of vandalism, a break-in, maybe a backpack or a laptop went missing, and I know that there's like a specific area of interest. I'm going to highlight this area coming up the stairs. And in doing so, the camera will pull up every instance where there was a high level of activity coming up and down the stairs there. Now let's click into one. I'll do someone coming into our office. Let's see. Oh, I'll do this one. Now this looks like it's Kyle around 11:09 a.m. this morning. So different things that you can do with this clip. You can pause it, of course. You can watch it back in different speeds. You can take a screenshot. You can digitally zoom in up to 20x on this clip. You can also archive this video. So if I wanted to maybe say intruder, hit archive, that will take this clip from the solid state storage on the camera and into the archive clip section where we host on AWS, that's Amazon Web Services, and it's free and unlimited storage there. You can have 10,000 clips there from 10 years ago. You will always have access. It's not an additional charge. It's just included with what comes with your Verkada system. And then say that there was an incident that occurred across the purview of multiple fields of view, multiple cameras. You can add up to 12 cameras at once, which is pretty neat. And watch them all. They all just timestamp together. Okay, and do keep in mind, I'm going to jump over to my archive clip section, if I can get out of this one. There we go. Okay, into the archive section. So I just archived that clip here. I'm going to jump into it. You can see, of course, that I can play it back again. In the top left-hand corner, there is a timestamp and date locating the camera and the site that the camera is located in as well. And do keep in mind, since I'm sharing my screen through the GoToWebinar, you're seeing a video of a video. But if someone would like to volunteer here in a second, I would love to share out an archive video, or I can even just do it at the end when there's time for questions. But I just want you guys to see the real video quality that Verkada cameras are capable of. But here, this is where you can keep a running log of what was going on with this clip. Maybe you sent it to your security team or to your superintendent or to the local police department for further investigation, and you wanted to keep a running log of what was happening. You can also download this. It will save in an MP4 format to your desktop, and you can share it out to whoever you see fit in that method. But for many reasons, we've built out a much more secure method for sharing out an archive video, because when you send something as an email attachment, you don't know if the intended recipient watched it, how many times, what if it falls in the wrong hands, what do you do? For that reason, you can designate the specific recipient by typing in their phone number or generating a shareable link and sending it through email that way. This way you can specify the recipient and then also specify the exact amount of time you would like them to have access to it, whether that be a few minutes, hours, days, weeks, years, or indefinitely. There's also a digital audit trail associated with this sharing event in the back end, so you can see if the recipient watched it, if so, how many times, and if it does end up in the wrong hands for whatever reason, it's very easy to expire that link and revoke access just in case. Now, just a few other ways that you can view your cameras. Let's see. Is a site view. So this is how we've divvied it up at the Verkada organization. This is at the organization level. So our admins have configured these. Our downtown Oakland across the Bay Bridge, our outdoor cameras, our sales floor, looks like it's lunchtime over in the kitchen, and different entryways. So these are subsets of the sales floor. These are subsites where you can put just one or a few specific cameras. And then this is the grid view. So as opposed to the organization level, this can be set up on an individual level. So there are 3x3 cameras here. That means there are 9. You can also have up to a 12 camera view. You can have this on carousel so that it automatically rotates automatically, and have it up on a monitor or screen so you can glance up at it however and whenever you see fit. Now I'm going to jump into one of our outdoor cameras. I'll do this one over on 3rd Avenue. Some people joke that this kind of looks like we're in Germany or something like that, but I swear we are in downtown San Mateo. So a few things here. You can optically zoom in and out. You can also digitally zoom in and out. You can share a live video feed through SMS, text message, or by link. So as opposed to an archived video from the past, this is a live link that you can send, say that there's some sort of emergency like a fire, a break-in, a vandalism, God forbid some sort of active shooter has entered the premises, and you need to send this to whoever's most important during a time of need like that. Same method, put in that person's phone number, generate that shareable link. What we've seen here at Verkada with this type of capability, because no other system in the world is capable of these operations, is a lot of schools are integrating Verkada into their fire escape plans. So as the students are lining up behind their teachers, the teachers are instructed to send live links to the local fire department, and same thing during active shooter drills. Another great use case for Verkada and this specific application is for non-emergency events. You can embed a live link of your Verkada camera into your school website, for example. And I've seen schools use this to broadcast their graduation ceremonies, sporting events, school recitals, even new construction, which is pretty neat as well. Now I'm going to jump into the back end settings of this camera. If you hit this little toolbar here, you'll see everything you need to know about this camera, what type of retention it has from a storage capacity perspective, where it's located on a map. And if I go into additional settings and hit motion, this is where you can have the camera send notifications when motion is detected. And if I check this box, it'll filter solely by human movement. You won't see any false positives like the box falling over or leaves rustling in the background. And you can also have it notify you only during a specified time window. So maybe on the weekends, we want to be notified of anyone out here between 12 p.m. and 3 a.m. No one should be at this entryway or in the gymnasium. And then during the weekdays, maybe during these specific times, we want to be alerted. Just highlight the region of interest, whether that be a few or the entire screen. Hit apply. And what the camera will do is anytime human movement breaks that grid, you will get an alert through SMS, text message, or email, or both, depending on your preference. And it will send you 20 seconds before that person entered the frame, the duration that they were in the frame, and then also 20 seconds after they left the frame, so you can see the entire scene. Here you'll see audit log. So this just shows the time, the user, the event, who's on your Verkada organization, who's viewing the cameras, what type of video are they archiving, and whatnot. And then this is an outdoor camera, but all of our indoor models have the ability to enable camera audio for playback only. So there's a lot of laws against filming in a public space for outdoor cameras. So all of our outdoor models do not have audio, but the indoor models do, if that's ever of interest to you. Now I'll exit out of here. Next, wanted to show you from a scalability perspective, being able to add a device. You just type in the serial number or scan the QR code, limitlessly scalable. And then I'm going to jump into the settings of this camera. So a few things here. This is where you verify your email address and your phone number that you'd like to receive notifications on. Anytime there's some sort of tampering event detected, a camera goes offline, or there's motion detected during those time parameters that we just set. And then adding users. It's very easy and you can get very customizable with permission sets and groups. So I'll just do an example. Maybe you wanted to add your local police department just during a high security time, or maybe you wanted to have them during the school year just as a user or a viewer, just in case, just so that they have some visibility. So the first role you can designate them as is a site viewer. They can view the cameras in the sites to which you have granted them access. So whether that be all sites, they can see all of the cameras, or maybe just selected sites. Maybe they only want them to see specific entryways and the outdoor cameras just covering the perimeter of the building. And then other roles are site admin and organization admin. The organization admin is the utmost level. They can add, modify, and remove cameras, sites, and people within the organization as well. And just hit next, and the recipient will receive an email where they will click and create their login credentials, and then they will immediately have access to all the cameras that you've given them access to. Awesome. And then let's see, one pretty neat thing here. I'm going to go to our main stairwell. So here, this is one of our D40 cameras just facing one of our main entryways. And this is just a pretty neat feature that was very recently released. You can search for people. So I call this my person of interest search. You can filter by appearance. So let's do male, for example, and then maybe a blue shirt. It will pull up every instance where there was someone walking through the purview of this camera. So if I know the description of someone that I'm looking for, it's very easy to find that specific person of interest. You can also do a face search. So this pulls up a high resolution image of people in and around our office that walk by this camera. So let's pick one of these. I'll do, let's see, let's do Joe. It will search results for this person. So you'll see here's Joe. Looks like he hangs out around this camera a lot. I think he sits right there. But what you can also do is upload a photo. So if you had a specific person of interest and you uploaded a photo of them, you would know if and when they went across the purview of this camera and could search for them in advance. But I guess from a demonstration perspective, the last thing I wanted to show you is one of our fisheye cameras. This is an indoor-outdoor model. It has a 180-degree panoramic view. You can also switch it to a different mode, a four-way split mode, and I'll show you what that looks like. But just to give you some context, this camera is on the 4th floor of our building, overlooking 3rd Avenue. So that's about 250 feet across the street there. And if these trees weren't here, I would pretty much be able to see this entire city block. Now I'll show you the four-way split view of that same fisheye camera, which I see a lot of my schools and other businesses using this in the center of a four-way split hallway. So it's basically 4 cameras in one, which is pretty cool. It's a 12 megapixel camera, so it does a screen grab from 4 different directions, and each of these windows is 3 megapixels. And then one last thing that I did want to note is that every single Verkada camera model comes with a 10-year hardware warranty. So that's the indoor, outdoor, fisheye, you name it, no questions asked. Verkada will drop ship you overnight a brand new camera anytime anything happened to the original camera over the next 10 years. So it's a highly predictable total cost of ownership. You're no longer having to replace outdated cameras over that 10-year period as they go down. You're no longer having to replace NVRs or DVRs or servers multiple times over that 10-year period. So with Verkada, we really do want to eliminate any of that other antiquated technology and make it really easy for you guys. But I think that's it for me. I would love to open the floor to questions. Thank you so much for watching my demo.
Lauren, what's the typical turnaround on design from the time somebody were to send you, floor plans to the time we'd be able to turn around a proposed camera configuration?
Yeah, wait, let me just clarify. So if you wanted to send us your floor plans and we map out the cameras on them for you? Yeah, I guess we have a team here that's dedicated to doing that. If you send us your floor plan, we can map out some recommendations on placement and also camera model within 3 days.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's the only question that has come through so far. If there are any others, please be sure to use that chat function in the panel on the right, and we'd be happy to follow up on anything else that comes later on too. But in the meantime, Lauren, we sure appreciate your time today, and we'll look forward to following up and hopefully we gain some traction on this and continue to work together.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you everyone for listening. It was a pleasure.
All right. Thanks, Lauren, and thanks everybody for joining. We'll see you next time.
Yes. Thank you. Happy to help with any questions. Talk to you guys soon.